Have you ever been told that spinach is the ultimate superfood for older adults? If you're like many people over 65, you've probably seen spinach touted in magazines, on TV, or by friends as a simple way to boost nutrition. Just toss a handful into a smoothie and call it a day. But beneath this friendly piece of advice, there are hidden pitfalls that can diminish spinach's benefits or even cause unwanted side effects. After all, your body isn't the same at 65 as it was at 45, so certain nutritional approaches need to be fine-tuned. This is where today's topic comes in, avoiding 4 common mistakes seniors often make when adding spinach to smoothies. Before we dive into these mistakes, let's recognize why it matters so much. Spinach can offer a wonderful array of vitamins and minerals that support bone health, muscle function, and even mental clarity. It's rich in nutrients that may help support heart health, reduce inflammation, and maintain strong vision, factors that become more critical as we age. Many older adults, eager for these benefits, feel they should ramp up their spinach intake, often by blending it into their favorite fruit or yogurt drink. It's an easy, enjoyable way to consume greens, and when done right, it can be fantastic for your body. But when done incorrectly, you might not get those touted benefits. Or worse, you could run into issues like medication interference or digestive discomfort. The good news is that by the end of this discussion, you'll know exactly how to keep spinach in your smoothie routine without falling into these pitfalls. We'll look at 4 specific mistakes that even well-intentioned seniors often make. You'll learn how to avoid potential nutrient imbalances, prevent medication clashes, and ensure you're getting all the good stuff from that big handful of greens. Think of it like having a conversation with a concerned health expert, a friendly guide who wants you to stay informed, not frightened, and definitely not left out of the loop on how to make the most of your healthy habits. I've spoken with many older adults who tried spinach smoothies for months, only to be disappointed when they didn't see any improvement in their energy levels or lab results, or worse, when they ended up with unexpected bloating or discomfort. The reality is that these less-than-ideal outcomes often have easy fixes. In fact, by understanding how certain nutrients interact with each other, especially in the unique context of our bodies after 65, you can transform your morning smoothie into a genuine, health-supporting treat rather than just a pretty green concoction. As we dig into each of these 4 mistakes, I invite you to think about your own routine. Have you recently started blending spinach into your favorite drink? Are you considering it but feeling unsure? By the end, I promise you'll not only be more confident in your choices, but you'll also be able to customize your smoothies in a way that aligns with your body's needs at this stage of life. If you can relate, feel free to keep a mental list of questions or concerns that pop up along the way. The goal here is to help you reclaim a bit of nutritional balance and ensure that every sip you take is working for you, not against you. Mistake number 1 often surprises people because it seems innocent enough, using too much spinach in a single serving. There's a tendency among older adults to think if a handful of spinach is healthy, 2 or 3 must be better. But this assumption can actually backfire. Many seniors don't realize that spinach contains naturally occurring compounds called oxalates. While oxalates aren't harmful in moderate amounts for most people, too much can pose a risk for those already dealing with kidney stones or specific medications that affect mineral balance. Consider Helen, age 72. She'd heard that spinach could help support healthy vision, so she began blending 2 large handfuls every morning with some fruit. Within a few months, she experienced mild but persistent stomach pain and discovered her calcium levels were edging lower than ideal. Her doctor explained that oxalates combine with certain minerals like calcium, making them harder for the body to absorb. Instead of cutting out spinach entirely, Helen found a more balanced approach. She switched to using just 1 handful, incorporating other greens on alternate days, and she ensured she was meeting her daily calcium needs from a variety of foods. So how can you avoid Helen's initial mistake? First, think of spinach as a potent supplement to your meal rather than the meal itself. 1 moderate handful, about a cup loosely packed, is usually enough to reap the benefits without overloading on oxalates. Second, consider pairing your smoothie with a small calcium source later in the day. Milk in your coffee, a slice of cheese, or calcium-fortified oatmeal can all help balance out any potential nutrient binding. Third, stay aware of your personal risk factors. If you have a history of kidney stones, or if you take medications that affect your kidneys or mineral absorption, speak with your healthcare provider about the safe amount of spinach for your specific situation. The physical benefit of moderating spinach is that you can still harness its vitamins and minerals, like magnesium and vitamin K, which can be especially valuable for healthy bones, without worrying about inadvertently creating new problems. Emotionally, it's reassuring to know you don't have to give up a food you enjoy. You just need to be strategic about how often and how much you use. Taking a measured approach like Helen's can lead to smoother digestion and a more stable mineral balance, which ultimately helps you feel better day in and day out. If you've been overloading your blender with 2 or more cups of spinach at once, consider this your gentle nudge to pull back a bit. You don't have to abandon the practice entirely. Just keep an eye on portion sizes and explore adding variety. Other greens like kale, collard greens, or even romaine lettuce can provide a fresh twist. After all, variety doesn't just keep your taste buds excited. It also ensures a broader spectrum of nutrients. Mistake number 2 involves the misconception that raw spinach is always healthier than cooked spinach. Many of us have grown up believing that raw fruits and veggies are inherently better, but when it comes to spinach, the story is more nuanced. Spinach contains certain nutrients, like iron and calcium, that can become more bioavailable once the spinach is lightly steamed or sautéed. The heat helps break down some of the compounds that can inhibit nutrient absorption. Take Martin, age 69, as an example. He took great pride in his all-raw approach, tossing fistfuls of uncooked spinach into his blender each morning. But even after months, his lab results showed he was slightly anemic. His doctor mentioned that while spinach is high in iron, the raw form also contains a compound called phytic acid, which can interfere with iron absorption. Once Martin switched to lightly wilting his spinach before blending, he noticed a gradual improvement in his energy levels. You don't have to cook spinach thoroughly to gain these benefits. Just a quick steam in the microwave or stovetop is enough to reduce the compounds that block iron and calcium absorption. From a practical standpoint, you could prepare a batch in advance. Lightly steam a few cups of spinach, store them in a container, and use small amounts in your smoothies throughout the week. This also helps break down the leaves so they blend more smoothly without adding extra grit. Beyond the nutritional perks, a lightly cooked approach can be easier on digestion. Some seniors experience bloating or gas from large amounts of raw greens, and a quick wilt often solves that problem. Emotionally, it can be encouraging to see how one small tweak, like cooking your spinach a little, can have a tangible impact on energy levels and digestive comfort. It's a reminder that your body after 65 has different needs and tolerances, and that's perfectly normal. If you've never tried partially cooking your spinach before tossing it into your smoothie, I encourage you to experiment. You may be pleasantly surprised at how the texture changes. Some folks even find they prefer the flavor over raw spinach, especially when blended with fruits like strawberries or peaches. Before we move on to the next point, think about this. Do you notice any stomach discomfort after raw smoothies? If so, you might be exactly the type of person who benefits from this gentle cooking step. Mistake number 3 is often overlooked: ignoring potential interactions with medications. Our bodies become more sensitive to certain nutrient interactions as we age, and spinach, with its high vitamin K content, is particularly important to monitor if you're on blood thinners such as warfarin. Vitamin K plays a crucial role in blood clotting, so a sudden increase or decrease in your intake can affect how these medications work. Margaret, age 75, had been managing her heart condition well for years. She decided to ramp up her smoothie game because she'd read that spinach could help with everything from brain health to bone strength. But after a few weeks, her doctor noticed unusual fluctuations in her blood test results. They realized she was consuming double or triple the amount of vitamin K she'd had before, throwing off the delicate balance her medication required. Once Margaret spaced out her spinach smoothies, about 3 times a week instead of daily, and kept the portions consistent, her lab results stabilized again. The takeaway? If you're on blood thinners or other medications impacted by vitamin K, you don't necessarily need to avoid spinach altogether. Instead, stay consistent with your daily or weekly portions, or at least let your healthcare provider know if you make a major dietary change. That way they can monitor your medication dosages and make any needed adjustments. The emotional benefit of this awareness is huge. It puts you in the driver's seat of your health choices, ensuring you're not accidentally compromising the work your medication is doing. Even if you aren't on blood thinners, you might be on other medications that interact with certain minerals or require stable electrolyte levels. Calcium and magnesium can be especially relevant. A big spike in these nutrients from high spinach smoothies, combined with supplements, can sometimes alter the effectiveness of your prescriptions or lead to side effects like muscle cramps or fatigue. Always read your prescription labels and don't hesitate to bring up questions with your pharmacist. In fact, many pharmacists and healthcare professionals appreciate it when patients are proactive about their dietary habits. It helps them give you tailored advice. Before we move on to the last mistake, take a moment to reflect. Have you recently changed the frequency or quantity of spinach you consume? If you're on medications, especially for blood pressure, heart conditions, or blood clotting, consider making a note to discuss this with your healthcare provider at your next appointment. They may have valuable insights that can keep you on track without sacrificing those spinach smoothie benefits. Mistake number 4 is skipping out on protein and healthy fats in your spinach smoothies. It might seem unrelated at first. After all, the focus is on spinach, right? But here's the catch. Certain vitamins in spinach, like vitamins A and K, are fat-soluble. This means they're best absorbed when paired with a source of healthy fat. If your smoothie is purely fruit and spinach with water, you may be missing out on a good portion of the nutritional perks you think you're getting. Also, adding a bit of protein can stabilize blood sugar levels, which is particularly important if you're aiming to maintain consistent energy throughout the day. A realistic example is Lloyd, age 78. He prided himself on his green-only smoothies, just water, spinach, and cucumber, because he felt it kept his calorie intake low. Unfortunately, Lloyd found himself fatigued by mid-morning and noticed no real improvements in how he felt overall. Then he talked to a nutrition-focused friend who suggested adding half a scoop of protein powder and a tablespoon of flaxseed or peanut butter. Almost immediately, Lloyd felt more sustained energy and better focus, and his blood sugar readings were more stable throughout the day. If protein powders aren't your thing, there are plenty of alternatives. A small handful of nuts, a dollop of Greek yogurt, or a few slices of avocado can offer both healthy fats and a bit of protein. If you're concerned about medication interactions or simply prefer a more natural approach, you might opt for unsweetened almond butter or even a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil. This small step can significantly improve how your body absorbs and utilizes spinach's fat-soluble vitamins. On the emotional side, adding these elements can make your smoothie more satisfying, reducing the likelihood of unhealthy snacking later. Many seniors worry about weight management or blood sugar swings, and a balanced smoothie that includes some protein and fat can become a stabilizing force in your daily routine. It's a way of telling your body, I'm giving you what you need to function well, rather than depriving it and then dealing with crashes and cravings. If you're new to including these extra components, start small. Maybe add just a teaspoon of nut butter or a few seeds the first week, then observe how you feel. Adjust as needed. Remember, your body's feedback is invaluable, especially as you get older. You might also find that you prefer certain flavor combinations, spinach, banana, and peanut butter, for instance, while steering clear of others. It's natural to wonder if all these suggestions might complicate your smoothie routine. But once you get the hang of portion sizes, lightly steaming your spinach, minding your medication considerations, and adding a bit of protein and healthy fat, it becomes second nature. These strategies aren't meant to scare you off from enjoying spinach smoothies. On the contrary, they're here to help you capitalize on a truly wholesome habit, ensuring you gain real benefits instead of falling into hidden pitfalls. When you take a step back and look at these 4 points together, moderation to avoid oxalate overload, lightly cooking spinach for better nutrient absorption, staying aware of medication interactions, and including protein and healthy fats, you can see a pattern emerge. The thread connecting them is the notion of balance and awareness. Spinach can be a fantastic addition to your diet, but only if you tailor it to your unique health circumstances and nutritional needs. This becomes more crucial as we grow older, because our bodies tend to become less forgiving of major dietary shifts or extreme patterns. Ultimately, the potential positive outcomes of making these adjustments are significant. By ensuring your smoothies are balanced, you may experience steadier energy levels, improved digestive comfort, and more consistent lab results. You might even find that you enjoy a wider variety of flavors, rotating different greens or protein sources to keep your morning beverage interesting. There's no need to fear spinach or to avoid it altogether. You simply need to be strategic about how you integrate it into your daily meals. If you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, let's simplify. Start with one of these 4 areas. Maybe your biggest concern is medication interaction. In that case, focus on consistent servings of spinach and talking with your healthcare provider. Or perhaps your digestion hasn't been great lately. Lightly steaming your spinach may be the first thing to try. Small, gradual steps can add up to a major difference in how you feel. And don't forget, you can share your experiences with friends or community groups. You'd be surprised how many seniors face the same questions and misconceptions about spinach, smoothies, and nutrition in general. Together, you can compare notes and discover what works best for each of you. As we near the end of our time together, let's recap. The key takeaway is that spinach smoothies can absolutely be part of a healthy lifestyle after 65, but common oversights, like going overboard on raw spinach, ignoring medication issues, or forgetting protein and fats, can undermine your good intentions. By being mindful of these 4 mistakes, you place yourself in a position of empowerment. You're acknowledging both the benefits and the potential pitfalls, which is the hallmark of making informed, balanced choices. There's a gentle urgency here too. Many seniors fall into the trap of thinking, I'm doing what everyone says is healthy, so it must be fine, without realizing their bodies have distinct needs that differ from younger adults. The sooner you fine-tune your smoothie routine, the sooner you can sidestep problems and start enjoying the genuine benefits. Picture a morning a few weeks from now. You blend a modest handful of lightly steamed spinach with some berries, a spoonful of peanut butter, and just enough liquid. You take that first sip, knowing it's both delicious and designed to cooperate with your medications, your digestive system, and your nutritional goals. That sense of confidence and clarity is the real payoff. If you're ready to take action, there are a few ways to do so. You could begin by adjusting just one part of your smoothie habit, maybe cooking the spinach. If you prefer a more structured approach, keep a small food journal. Track your ingredients, how you feel afterward, and any patterns you notice. If you're on medications, book an appointment with your healthcare provider or pharmacist to discuss the changes you're making. And if you want to spread the word or ask for feedback, share this information with your friends or family members who might also be blending greens into their diets. Finally, remember that your wisdom and life experience are invaluable. No one knows your body better than you do, and that insight can guide you toward what truly works. Yes, there are experts, studies, and general guidelines, but you have the final say. Treat these recommendations not as strict rules, but as a toolkit you can adapt. You're in the driver's seat of your health journey, and that's something to celebrate. Use these tips to keep spinach smoothies in your life. Just make sure they serve you, not complicate things. Here's to the simple, nourishing power of a well-balanced smoothie.